On sesshin, whether that's sitting online for our day as we are now, or whether that's residential sesshin, I follow the practice, the custom of my own teacher, Barry Majid, and offer a talk from one of the koan collections. And this one is unusual in that it turns up in both the Mumonkan, the Gateless Gate, and the Book of Equanimity, or the Book of Serenity, the two of the three major collections of koans. So, Fayen's two monks roll up the blinds. The case. The great Fayen Wenyi took the high seat before the midday meal to preach to his assembly. Raising his hand, he pointed to the bamboo blinds. Two monks went and rolled them up in the same manner. Fayen said, "One gains, the other loses." Women's comment. Tell me, which one gained? Which one lost? If you have the single eye regarding this, you will see where the national teacher Qing Liang failed. But I must warn you most firmly against arguing gain and loss. Women's verse. When they are rolled up, the great sky is bright and clear. But the great sky still does not match our way. Why don't you throw away that sky completely? Then not a breath of wind will come through. So we might begin with women's question, remembering, as always, that a koan is, in one sense, a trap, a pit which we're invited to jump into and keep on digging and bury ourselves alive. Who gains and who loses? Who has it? Who doesn't? How do I know? How can I know? What do I need to know in order to know which one gains, which one loses? So we have two things which we're told are the same. They roll up the blind in the same manner. And yet, one gains, one loses. In what sense? We're being presented with a mystery and a question about what's the difference? What might a difference be? And stepping back just one more step, what on earth do we mean by gain and loss here? And in some ways that's the starting point for the real questioning. But as always, if we're thinking about an ordinary mind perspective, wrong word probably, an ordinary mind approach to this koan, we start with ourselves, this body, my responses. First thing is, I don't know, I can't possibly know, and that's actually quite annoying. And I can feel that. Come on, this is ridiculous, it's a trap, what's it about? But then if I think about it, I'm placed in the position of the one who doesn't know, aren't I? The teacher knows. So actually, it falls back, the teacher has it. The teacher clearly has so Wu Men refers to it, if you have the single eye regarding this, well, the teacher knows, and I don't, so I'm immediately, the teacher wins. I lose. How does that feel? I'm blocked. I want to know. And actually right there, if I'm with this body, if I'm as this body, I can feel that sense of resistance. That sense of resistance which is always central to our actual practice. This gap between my life as it is, what I'm actually feeling in this moment, and what I think I'd like to be feeling in this moment. Knowing, seeing, being able to distinguish, and in fact gaining, having it. It's not fair. I want to be the one who gains. I don't want to be the one who loses. But what's the difference in that? Quick thought experiment in our bodies. Yes, yes, yes. Your national lottery ticket. It's won. Millions of pounds coming your... How does that feel? Surely that's a gain. Just how does that actually feel? It needn't be the national lottery. It can be anything you like. The gain. Or, oh no, but I've lost the ticket. Or, more immediately and more practically, damn, where are the car keys? I had them out on the table in the cafe. And that sense of drop, of loss. What's the difference? What's the difference in that experience? Surely that's gaining and losing. Is that what we're talking about? But then when I'm sitting, we talk about all the time, we talk about no gain. Why am I sitting? We're not sitting for any gain. And yet, what are we waiting for? Where do we think we're succeeding? Where do we think we're gaining in practice? Where do we think we're losing or just waiting? Are we waiting for enlightenment? Possibly, possibly not. Are we waiting for something? And we're sitting because we're who we are, with these thoughts about not doing it right, or the gains and losses in our own life. In a sense, there's the big metaphor for enlightenment in this koan. Roll up the blinds. Let the light in. Let the light shine. Let the light shine on me. Of course, the light does shine. It shines on everybody sitting there and both these monks, and yet one gains, one loses. Well, the great sky in this sense is, well, what's the nominal, conventional aim of enlightenment? To see the absolute, to see the world as it truly is. And one of the things we come back to and back to and back to again is the problem, that whole contradictory, self-contradictory difficulty in that idea. But if we'll allow the sky, the vast empty sky, clear blue, no clouds, no difference, nothing to distinguish anywhere. Clearly, no gain, no loss. The absolute. And yet we also know, if we've been paying any attention, that the absolute and the relative, this totally embodied world of, well, it can often feel like pretty absolute gain and loss, can't it? Good things happen, bad things happen, terrible things happen. But they are identical, that there is not a hair's breadth between them. And so we're being brought up sharp against this fundamental paradox, which is the place we dwell, our lives as they are. Is it fair? Well, if we were to take this image of the sky, equanimity, perfect balance, it's okay. It's all okay. It's all perfection. And yet, this is not how we experience life as it is. Oh, so that's how I should be experiencing life as it is. Well, no, because actually that's just another fantasy, just another image. The sky, this great sky, is just an idea. We can feel that idea, we can feel this sense of, wouldn't it be wonderful to not feel these things, to not strive after the gain, to not feel the crippling lack of the loss. And yet the idea of the absolute, of perfection as something other than this moment, it's just an idea. It's just a fantasy. Sometimes it may salve us, calm us, but a lot of the time we're just using it to wind ourselves up. So what does Wumen say? When they're rolled up, the great sky is bright and clear, but the great sky still does not match our way. Well, no. How could it? Why don't you throw away that sky completely? Then not a breath of wind will come through. We hear and now and present in the reality of gain and loss. And okay, at another level, gain and loss are always relative. High and low, as the sutras say, are always relative. No matter what's going on, it's always relative. There's always somebody worse off than myself. Well, that is perfectly and absolutely true. But that's not a reason for disregarding this gain, this loss, this ease, this dis-ease, this suffering, this dukkha. So what's the difference? The difference is just being okay with living this life of gain and loss, realizing this is my life. There is no other. I am these problems. I am my fantasies of gain and loss. I am the experience of just this. I am the idea of the great sky. I am the one who gains. I am the one who loses. And I throw all of that away. In the words of my great teacher, it's not a problem to have problems. Yeah, the problems are real. If I think I've got rid of the problems, then I'm in la la land. I'm just blanking out, dissociating. If I think that the problems are out there and I'm in here, different version of the same thing. This me, this life. I gain, I lose. Not separate. I am this gaining, this losing. It's not a problem to have problems.